This is the Nate McMurray Show, the Sound of Niagara Podcast, coming to you from the Niagara region, Grand Island in particular, Western New York, Southern Ontario, more broadly, the Niagara region. Listening to a little Bach here, my little introductory song. Good news! There is a ceasefire in Gaza. We have a video playing in the background here of people coming home. And the big question is, who gets the credit, right? Trump is claiming the credit. He wants to have a Nobel Peace Prize. I want to remind you that Henry Kissinger has a Nobel Peace Prize and Mahatma Gandhi did not. It's a bunch of people in a room that choose. It's always political, even though they say it's not. But he didn't get it this time. Someone else got it. He's praising Trump. Yeah, which makes me... Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that woman doesn't do great things in Venezuela, but, you know, we're fighting authoritarianism here too, lady. So I know you want to be president of Venezuela or whatever. You may have seen that she came out and she praised Trump after she won the Nobel Peace Prize. But I want to say, good for you, but it may help you long term to be cozying up to the most powerful dictator in the world. But it certainly hurts the movement for democracy in my home, and I didn't appreciate it. And again, as like I said, Henry Kissinger received the Nobel Peace Prize, but Mahatma Gandhi did not. Here's some video, some joyful video of some kids celebrating in Gaza. Look at that. Well, listen, I want to remind you all, these are the real winners. It isn't Trump. It isn't, no matter what Fetterman says in Pennsylvania, he wants to give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. It's the fact that these people fought power. I am not on the side of the people of Israel or the people of Gaza. I'm on the side of the people with no power versus those with power. The people who are being exploited or destroyed versus the people by the people with power for greed. And look at this. I mean, remember, Trump wanted to absolutely level it, create a new, Riviera, and Riviera rather, and move in or move the people out. He said that. He was all for ethnically cleansing the whole region. So be grateful that we overcame it, and not we, the people of Gaza did. And they're the ones who should be getting the Peace Prize. Look at this. Look at these kids. Look at these families coming home. I mean, if there's credit for anything, it's for these wonderful people who endured this. Remember, Netanyahu didn't get what he wants. Trump didn't get what he wants. The people of Gaza defeated them. They withstood this. Now, this is in no means a praise of Hamas. We all know, well, anyone with a brain knows, that Hamas is a dangerous, horrible enemy of the people of Gaza, just as much as Netanyahu is, in some respects. He took advantage of them, he exploited them. Hamas did. It's horrible. But the people of Gaza, look at them right here. They're going to have peace, hopefully. Hopefully this is going to work. Hopefully not some militants somewhere don't try to undermine the whole thing and cause more chaos. But I'm thankful it's over. But I just want to say, if we're going to talk about who's getting the Nobel Peace Prize, maybe the people of Gaza should get it, who endured all of this. Maybe the hostages should share it with them. The hostages that had nothing to do with what happened on October 7th and were put in the ground, forced to dig their old graves, raped, whatever else happened to them. Maybe the victims of this war, not the people who led the war, should get the award. And certainly not the guy who said, I want to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Trump or Netanyahu. All right, moving on.
Trump has ended all the wars in the world, especially the one between Azerbaijan and Armenia.
Okay, this is John
To
Stewart.
think that we settled.
He's not exactly my favorite, but here he is talking about how Trump's claiming credit for solving all the wars.
Azerbaijan and Albania as an example.
Got the wrong country, yeah. He doesn't even know the names of the countries of the wars he supposedly solved. And here's some foreign leaders mocking him.
The person who actually got the Nobel.
Well, here we go. The Albanian Prime Minister mocks Trump.
Because you didn't congratulate us for the peace deal that President Trump made between Albania and Azerbaijan. I'm sorry for that. So, and you worked very hard.
Quite clever, quite fun. The president of Albania, the Albanian prime minister, rather, he's mocking Trump about a fake peace deal that never existed, and Trump doesn't even know the difference between these countries. Moving on. So, yeah, I don't want to give him credit for anything. I give credit to the people that resisted what he wanted, which was ethnic cleansing. Remember he said he wanted to move all those people, all the Gazans, to Egypt? Remember that? I do.
Jesus Christ.
Now I'm moving on to Vivek Ramaswamy. So here's Vivek Ramaswamy getting absolutely attacked by these little white supremacist Christian nationalists. Well, listen to this.
Jesus Christ is God, and there is no other God. He is part of the Holy Trinity, and any other God is a demon, and it's false. How can you represent the constituents of Ohio who are 64% Christian if you are not a part of that faith? If you are an Indian, a Hindu, coming from a different culture, different religion than those who founded this country, those who grew this country, built this country, made this country the beautiful thing that it is today, what are you conserving? You are bringing change. I'll be 100% honest with you. Christianity is the one truth.
No, it isn't. It isn't. And buddy, little boy, do you know what Christianity represents? What's your favorite scripture? Is the one that doesn't exist about hating gay people that's not in the Bible? To me, it's Matthew 25. I talk about it all the time. What does it talk about? It talks about the sheep and the goats, right? In Matthew. It talks about the sheep being the ones who fight for the poor, who tend to those in prison, who take care of the fatherless and the widows and the immigrant. And then you have the goats, who are the ones who despise the poor and undermine the poor and attack the poor. And what happens to the goats? They go to hell. What happens to the sheep? They receive the kingdom of God. And your version of Christianity, you little Nazi, doesn't really look like that, does it? It's about labeling the insiders and the outsiders. And because Vivek looks different than you do and has a different religious and cultural background, he's forced to sit here and listen to your nonsense. I get it. He built the movement, the monster movement that you're part of. He wants to be at the turning point thing. That's his fault. That's his problem. But I find this whole thing sad.
And I want to know basically why you seem to be, and I don't mean to be horribly offensive, but why you seem to be masquerading as a Christian.
You familiar with the Ten Commandments? You call yourself a Hindu, but you also call yourself Christian.
I don't call myself Christian. I call myself a Hindu. I'm not running to be pastor of Ohio. I'm running to be governor of Ohio, and I didn't run to be pastor of America. I ran to be president of the United States of America. What's your faith?
I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus.
Great. Do you believe in the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
I think a lot of people here do. So
good. And that doesn't make you a polytheist, does it?
Probably not. No.
Great. And so
we have to sit here and debate the ramblings of a Bronze Age cult versus the ramblings of some other distant religious faith. It's so weird, all of it.
God, he resides in all of us, and he appears in different forms, but it's one true God. So I'm an ethical monotheist. That's the way I would describe it.
That's a tangled web you weave, sir. They don't care. They don't think Mormons are Christians, and they have the name Jesus Christ in the name of their church. I mean, it's like, listen, you really start to see how many devils or angels can fit on the head of a pin with the nonsense when you get into this weird fantasy world. Let Christianity, let religion be a private thing. The founding fathers never wanted us to be a Christian nation. Never. Anybody who tells you that is lying to you and twisting the truth. Most of them were theists, if anything. Certainly not advocates of Christianity, actually appalled by some aspects of Christianity. Jefferson wrote his own Bible, taking out all the supernatural elements.
That's the way I would describe my faith. Do you think it's inappropriate for someone who's a Hindu to be, say, a U.S. president?
No, I think it's... no, well...
You be honest.
Isn't Hinduism...
Because you're an Indian.
I can ask yourself that. Hinduism believes in Shiva and, what is it,
maybe read a book before you go on the stage and attack someone's faith, weirdo. Matthew 25:31-46, the judgment of nations. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will put the sheep at his right hand and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on the right hand, Come, ye that are blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me in. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when was it that I saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? And when was it when I saw you a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it when I saw you sick or in prison and visited you? And the king will answer them, Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me. Then he will say to those who are at his left hand, You are accursed. Depart from me into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me, and I was naked, and you did not give me clothing. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me. Then they will answer, Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or sick in prison, and did not take care of you? And he will say to them, Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these, you did it unto me. Come on, that's the scripture, man. That's the key. And America's becoming a nation of goats. Sheep, you're goats. You hate people, man. You want to put everybody in prison. You don't want to visit any of them. You want to lock everybody up. You want to put a cop in everyone's bedroom. It's freaking nuts. It's not anything like the Christianity I learned about. Here's Vivek.
Say you are anti-identity politics, anti-affirmative action.
Vivek, you reap what you sow. Look at Vivek back in the day.
Paul and Daisy Soros scholarship at law school that was specifically set up for the children of immigrants. It was an affirmative action scholarship, and your defense for that is that you didn't have the money to pay for law school, even though you'd already made over $1 million at the time, and made another $2 million.
My defense of that is somebody gives you a merit scholarship at the age of 24, you take it. At the age of 24, somebody gives you a merit scholarship, you take it. I didn't say I didn't have the money. I said at a time when I had a lot less money than now.
This guy below him is brilliant. And by the way, why would you take a scholarship like that when, first of all, you're opposed to the concept of such scholarships, and you're taking it away from someone who really could use the money? You pig.
I didn't say I didn't have the money. I said at a time when I had a lot less money than now. $50,000
you said exactly I didn't have the money to me. You keep forgetting your quote. You said, when I didn't have the money.
Vivek.
So, Mehdi, I've made this really easy for everybody.
You're all ambition.
And I did this in the early weeks of the campaign.
Yeah.
I released 20 years of tax returns.
Yes, you
Something that no presidential candidate, let alone somebody who's successful in business, has done. I challenge Democrats and Republicans alike, including the Biden family, to do it. And you know what? I released it so that you could look at them, so we can have an honest conversation.
I appreciate that.
The funny thing I've learned,
I do appreciate that. It's something Trump should learn from you.
I think that transparency is important. So it's already open and everybody can see it.
Exactly. We have 2009.
But the fact of the matter is, you know what I would advise?
This, by the way, the way this guy made his money, Vivek, is he made his money from basically hyping a drug that doesn't work and then selling the shares in it. He's like a crypto guy who does like a big, meme stock and then pulls the rug out on everybody. That's what he did. That's what he made his money doing. The people that did the drug studies for the drug he was trying to push were his parents, I think, his mom at least. And then he basically sold all his shares and cashed out when the drug didn't pass FDA approval. It's nuts. All right. Do you ever hear the song "Tramp the Dirt Down" by Elvis Costello? I think of these. I see these type of politicians, and I think of that song where it says the politician kisses the baby and the child, and the lyric is, "I see all that pain and avarice coming down on that child's lips." These people are full of nothing but pain and avarice, or greed and avarice, ambition. It's just they're overwhelmed with trying to be something, or rather, be something rather than do something. Okay, back to the protest. Now, I hear people saying, Nate, there's nothing going wrong in the world. Everything's good. Biden did the same thing. Biden never tried to declare his opponents insurrectionists by using the Insurrection Act to send troops into the cities. There was an insurrection in America, yeah. They literally tried to break up an election, okay? They were gathering guns on one side of the Potomac. They invaded the Capitol. These people were arrested. They beat up cops. They went to jail. Trump released them. So if your argument is, well, that happened, but guess what? Trump won, and now the insurrection is taking hold of America, and they're going to punish everybody that wasn't part of the insurrection, I'd have more, at least intellectually, I'd have more respect for your argument than to say that the same thing that happened before is happening now, because Biden never declared, never used the Insurrection Act to attack cities. He never sent Black Hawk helicopters into cities. This is the thing I have with the right wing, the MAGA group. You can't even talk to them because their arguments are so specious, but they say them so deliberately as if they believe them. They've learned from Trump, who says the lie with such confidence that you start to think, do they really believe this? Do they really believe that Biden was doing the same thing that Trump is doing? Let's watch some video from Portland.
You guys are too fat. Pete Hegseth said so.
They're mocking the
You're
ICE
on the
guards.
wrong side of the defense. You're supposed to be defending American citizens. You're helping kidnap people, motherfuckers. They're kidnapping people here. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I saw a TikToker coping online today saying, "There's nothing bad's gonna happen. This is just you're coping. We're gonna have journalists, opposition journalists are gonna go to jail. Opposition politicians are gonna go to jail. Opposition, just regular citizens who don't believe in the Trump way of life and are fighting against this because they believe in democracy are gonna go to jail." I can't believe. It's also funny because the MAGA group, they're saying we want a dictator. Our country fought multiple wars against foreign powers for democracy, and you're giving it all up for Trump? For what? And I always say this, for what? What is he doing for you? He has all three branches of government. He could change your life forever. He could get everybody health care. He could change our economy from a trickle down to a bubble up economy. He could do it all. He's not doing anything. They're not even there to vote. The whole Republican caucus is gone. The lights are out. The lights are only on in half the buildings in D.C. because all the Republicans have left town. What is he doing for you? He shut down the government literally. Is he making your life better? Like, why are you giving up our democracy so easily? And I'm going to go back and play what this guy is saying again, because it's dead on.
Fat Pete Hegseth said so. You're on the wrong side of the defense. You're supposed to be defending American citizens. You're helping kidnap people, motherfuckers. They're kidnapping people here. That's what they're doing. That's what that fence is for. That's why we're furious. Motherfucker, we don't want you here. You're racist. Get out of our city. National Guard, get on the right side of the fence. Hey, you guys. Hey, guys, get the out of Chicago. You.
Good for them.
You. Fat.
Here's some more. This is at an ICE facility in Illinois. This is what you guys voted for? This? You wanted this? Or people are openly, it looks like worse than the 60s. By the way, Pam Bondi, all these folks are part of something that the Russians used to do called active measures. It is a mix of, it is a way of discrediting institutions and major politicians by creating cynicism. It's saying that everybody is bad. You make all politicians look equally bad. So you say that Hunter Biden's laptop is equal to taking a plane from Qatar. Or you say, like, you flatten distinctions. There are no distinctions. Everyone's bad. You guys are bad. We're bad. This is straight out of the Russian playbook to undermine democracy. It is a concept that's been around for a long time. It's a way to destroy freedom. You amplify fringe views, you boost extreme voices, and the conspiracy theories to mainstream debate becomes toxic and incoherent, making principled opposition look pointless and paving the way for strongman alternatives. You flood media and social platforms with stories that cast every major party and politician as corrupt. bought, or morally bankrupt. So people stop trusting elections or institutions. You don't think that's happening right now in the Trump administration? He knows how corrupt he is. He's like, flood the zone, man. Literally the language of what's that fat boy's name? Bannon. Flood the zone. Make all politicians look equally bad. Again, create generalized cynicism. You flood the media. Again, the short answer, there's a single word for it. It's a long-standing Russian playbook called active measures, carried out by a mix of Russian intelligence services and state-linked actors, plus proxy groups like the Internet Research Agency. The goal is to discredit institutions and all major politicians, deepen cynicism, and polarized grievance and open political space for actors who promise strong man control. That's what they've done. That's what's happening. Here's some more.
Oh, yeah, shut them down. You, man.
Yeah, just idiots. Guys, take your uniform off. You're on the side of you're opposite of the folks who fought in World War II. You're opposite on the side of freedom. I don't know what you're doing. This is nuts. All right. Let me remind you, in the whole discussion I was having earlier about goats versus sheep, I want to remind you who President Reagan was. This is what President Reagan said. This is how far our country's fallen.
And since this is the last speech that I will give as president, I think it's fitting to leave one final thought, an observation about a country which I love. You can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go to live in Germany or Turkey or Japan, but you cannot become a German, a Turk, or Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American. Other countries...
Yeah. Remember that when you see these protests outside of ICE facilities, when you see them trying to declare anyone who disagrees what they're doing as insurrectionists, remember that.
...area as a beacon of freedom and opportunity that draws the people of the world. No country on earth comes close. This, I believe, is one of the most important sources of America's greatness. We lead the world because, unique among nations, we draw our people, our strength, from every country and every corner of the world.
God bless you, sir.
By doing so, we continuously renew and enrich our nation. Thanks to each wave of new arrivals to this land of opportunity, we're a nation forever young, forever bursting with energy and new ideas.
Yes, we were.
And always on the cutting edge, always leading the world to the next frontier.
All right, where's the camera? Remember what we talked about today, okay? First and foremost, that Trump uses the Russian playbook of flooding the zone with stories undermining all politicians, exaggerating small peccadillos into huge problems so that he can control us. He wants you to discredit all institutions, all politicians, make everyone look bad so he doesn't look so bad, and that the only alternative is to call for him to be the strong man to fix it. And that's what's happening. There's no comparison between the alleged crimes of someone like Joe Biden versus the absolute outright corruption of the Trump family. There's no comparison. This flattening distinctions and making it all seem the same is what Trump is doing. The second thing is, should Trump get the Nobel Peace Prize? I don't care. Like I said in the beginning of this, Gandhi didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, but Henry Kissinger did. All right? I don't care what a couple weirdos in some dark room in Norway think. The reality is he called for ethnic cleansing in Gaza, and the Gazan people resisted. They're still there. They're not going anywhere. They won. Whether they win the Nobel Peace Prize or not, they won. Okay? Now, if you want to give credit to Trump for coming in 2 years too late or a year too late and saying, hey, this isn't working, we can't ethnically cleanse this area, go ahead. But he's no hero. The third thing I want to say is we are going towards a path that we're going to lose our freedom. We're giving up our freedoms in America. This isn't hyperbole. This is the truth. They're going to crack down on dissent. They're putting opposition politicians in jail. They are, again, they're trying to. I am fairly sure we're going to lose the sanctity of our elections. They're going to become less free Because as Trump says himself,
smart people don't like me.
Yeah, he's not liked. His credibility is falling. It looks like when I see Mike Johnson on television, he's panicking. He knows in the 18th of October there's going to be a huge protest against him. They're calling it the Hate America protest or whatever. It is the No Kings. America's about being free. Nobody wants to live in a country where nobody's free. That's not America. We love America. That's why we want to fight for freedom. And freedom means the right to have dissent. To say, no, I don't like this. I don't like the way you're treating foreigners in our country. I talked about Matthew 25 and about how where Jesus makes a distinction between those who took care of the sick and the stranger and the people in prison versus those who didn't. And he calls the nations that don't the goat nations, not the greatest of all time, the goat, like the animal, and he sends them to hell. And he says that the sheep nations, the kind nations, will inherit the kingdom of heaven. That's the principle I'd rather live by if we're going to be a Christian nationalist country, which I don't think we should be. But if we're going to talk about Christianity, that's the key element of Christianity, the kindness, the decency of Christianity. And don't try to twist those verses. They're very clear. Very plain understanding of those verses tells you exactly what they mean. So remember those things that we talked about today, brothers and sisters. All right? Don't give up hope, by the way. If those people in Gaza didn't give up hope, certainly we shouldn't, right? They endured the greatest force in the world practically coming down on them every single day, and they stood still and they said, we're not going anywhere. We're not going to Egypt. We're not going anywhere. I learned a lot during this. Heck, I learned, number one, that the power of resistance, okay? Netanyahu couldn't get rid of them. Trump couldn't get rid of them. Nobody could. Keep going. Love you all. Much love.
Stay at the corner.